Hi everyone, welcome to Campervan Time, and today we're going to be talking about a Volkswagen camper, but that's camper with a K. So you may not have had a look round at all the different Volkswagen websites across the world, but I tell you what, this is really interesting. I noticed on YouTube the other day somebody had reviewed a Volkswagen campervan, and I thought that looks interesting because it's campervan with a K, and I'm easily interested, so I went and had a bit of an explore, and I actually found that it's a campervan that Volkswagen sell in Australia. Now, you can get the Volkswagen California in Australia. It's based on the 6.1, so the same as we have here at the moment, and you can get a beach. You can spec it up, you can have it. It's obviously a pop top, just the same as this, the one that you have here in the UK. Interestingly, in New Zealand, you can get a California Grand, and in Australia, you can't. Don't know why. They just don't supply the California Grand in Australia, or Grand California. So what they do instead is they've partnered with a company called Jayco, and Jayco make the campervan, and that's campervan with a K, and it looks really interesting, and it's actually sold through Volkswagen. So when you look on the Volkswagen website, you can see this campervan, and you know, you'd look at it at a glance and you think, well, that's a 680. It looks like a 6.8 metre van. It's a Crafter based van, and actually you think, well, surely that's a 680. But then when you delve a bit further and you start to look at what it actually is inside, it's got a few features which I'm thinking, why on earth didn't Volkswagen put those in the Grand California? You know, it's got things like a radio which goes in the back and all that kind of stuff. And I thought it would be really interesting just to run you through on the screen a bit of a look at what that campervan really looks like. So what I'm going to do is I've got my trusty laptop here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my screen, and I'm just going to run through this campervan because I think it's really interesting. And if Volkswagen are prepared to partner with somebody in Australia to be able to deliver big crafter based vans, would they do it here? Is it worth them doing the Grand California themselves? Could they partner here? And if so, who would they partner with? Hold that thought. I might ask you a question about that for the comments a bit later on. So let's have a quick dive then and see what we can see. Okay, so we are on the Volkswagen.com.au website, so Australia Volkswagen page. So this is all Volkswagen. They put cars and vans all on the same site, different to the UK. And the first thing that pops up is a fantastic California beach. So yep, they have it on the homepage right there. But actually, we're interested in. So if I go to explore all of the models, you can see all the different things. So very similar to what we have here. So the T-Cross and Tiguan and Golf and all that sort of stuff. California, multivans, all that kind of stuff. Caddy California, be a bit dwarfed on some of their roads. It's quite a small van. But then you've got this one, the Crafter Kampervan. So let's go and have a look at this then. So first glance, tell me that doesn't look like a Grand California 680. Certainly does to me. Slight differences when you look at the picture. So obviously there's a second aerial on the side of the van. Obviously gives you a bit of an indication of what's happening. Got other little differences on here. So it looks like it's got slightly different tyres on this one. It's got, it doesn't actually look as though it's got a second roof which has been added. So clearly it's not got a super high roof like the 600 Grand California, but actually that looks like a normal van to me, because even on the 680 Grand California they do put a fiberglass roof on instead. So let's delve a little bit further then. So interestingly, they've done one allocation of these already. They've built one allocation of these. They're sold out, so they are taking orders, or they're registering interest ready for 2023. So it's a rear lounge. So first difference that you see as soon as you get into the main part of the site, rear lounge, TV, speakers, and it actually has some fans in the back as well. Full fly screen in the back. Obviously very different cupboard arrangement at the top. and if I just keep scrolling through, you'll see here, so it's got shower cubicle, just the same, so front dinette layout just the same as the 680. Kitchen block looks similar but is actually quite different. And then as we go on through, you find there's actually different models of it. So the 680 is obviously different models in terms of what drivetrain you want, but there isn't different models in terms of the style of it. So the kind of things it has, you just go through the options list, you pick what you want, and then obviously that's there, notwithstanding you can't get a 4Motion at the moment. So when you have a look at the Crafter Kampervan with a K, I'm always going to have to describe it like that, you can have a standard one, but then you can do this Campervan style. They also do an all-terrain package which goes on the Campervan style, which means that you can have off-road tyres and all of that kind of stuff and underplating and that kind of thing from the factory. So really making it quite a different kind of van. There's things like external barbecue point built into the van right from the get-go. And there you go, look, you can see the all-terrain package. They put it on steel wheels on that one, obviously off-road tyres and things. If you want that kind of style for your van, having it from the factory, from Volkswagen, quite special. Obviously huge bed layout at the bottom because of that rear lounge setup. Obviously you do need to set it up every time. And then when you look through the various different bits on the website, you can see obviously got the shower cubicle, very similar. Obviously you've got your normal interior seating, looks very similar in terms of the table layout things. But this thing up here, I think that's a radio at the top there. When you look through some of the options, yeah, there you go. So you've got radio, you've obviously got heating controls. That's a radio for the back. So I think, again, that's really interesting. Going off grid, 1500 watt inverter from the factory. You know, this is the kind of thing which actually a lot of the converters in the UK do really well. And when you look at the Grand California, you think they just haven't quite gone the full distance in terms of what they could have really made it to be. Interesting Fiamma awning on this one rather than a Thule/Thule, however you want to describe it. But it does pin back to the van. Very Australian style of awning that. So yeah, again, looks very familiar. The outdoor table and chairs and everything there, all obviously very familiar. And you can see there the reversing camera and rear light. It just shows to me that it definitely has the normal Crafter steel roof on instead. Just looking through, nothing else particularly of interest on any of that. But if we have a look at the brochure itself, you can download a PDF which gives you a bit more. Obviously they've got some decent graphics and other bits and pieces on here. No tints or anything like that at the back, which is quite interesting. When you just have a quick flick through, so if there's anything else which is kind of interesting as part of this. So there's 3 models. You've got the normal model, the base model, the K Campervan. You've got the Campervan style, and then you've got the Campervan all-terrain. As you can see, it's quite different. Microwave, obviously a different style of fridge to the fridge that we have in the UK, Grand California. So altogether, it just feels like a very different take on a Crafter, but it's sold through Volkswagen. And that's the thing which I just find really interesting, because, you know, all the factory two-tone paint colours, all of that kind of usual stuff which you'd expect on the Grand California. You look through all this stuff, this is a Volkswagen brochure. You know, this is a product from Volkswagen. So here's the question for you. If Volkswagen in the UK could partner with a company who does campervan conversions, who would you want it to be? Who do you think would make a fantastic partner for Volkswagen if they were going to take this model from from Australia and do it in the UK? So basically, if they were going to scrap the Grand California, or they were going to have a Grand California Mark II, what would make you buy a Grand California Mark II? What are you seeing out of that approach in Australia which makes you think, why don't they do that here? Let us know in the comments below. I'd be really interested to see what you think. I've been really interested to have a read through all of this. I've no idea why they don't do this in New Zealand, by the way. That's another mystery. I do know when we went to Australia, Jayco is one of those brands over there that you see quite a lot of kind of heavily plated, like armoured and kind of armour plating, checker plating on all of the caravans, kind of outback style caravans and motorhomes over there. Really well respected brand over there. They've obviously picked it for a reason. But would you like Volkswagen to partner with, you know, one of the major converters, or Westfalia again, or, you know, someone who is an absolute specialist in conversions? Let us know in the comments below. Be really interested to see what you think. Go and have a look at the Volkswagen website yourself in Australia. Have a bit of a look round, see what you think. Let us know in the comments below, and yeah, it's quite an interesting thing to go and spend a lazy Saturday afternoon doing. Hopefully you found this kind of interesting. I certainly did. Just thought I'd share it with you. Hopefully you're enjoying the new logo, and we're just making that transition at the moment. So if you see the odd thing which still says California Time on it, you'll know why. If you're new to the channel and you're seeing us for the first time, thank you for joining. Campervan Time, we used to be called California Time. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Cheers.